class, here is the second part of solving two-step equations. These are going to look a little different than last week. These are just kind of another step up in what you're going to be expected to know going into next year. You're still going to have just two steps, but instead of always having to add or subtract and then divide, sometimes you might have to multiply at the end. You're still going to always start with whatever is being added or subtracted. So in this case here, you have this minus 7. You're going to start by adding 7 to each side. So 8 plus 7 is 15, and that equals t divided by 3. And then you need to think to yourself, how can you get rid of dividing by 3? If you think back to a couple weeks ago, the inverse of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. So you have to multiply each side of that equation by 3. So you get 45 equal to t, or you can write that out as t equals 45. For this next one, this looks a lot like last week, but we have just some negative signs and negative numbers to deal with. I'm going to start by subtracting 13 from each side. So negative 2 minus 13 is negative 15. And if you're doing this along with me, you'll probably have to pause this, maybe grab your calculator, make sure you understand where these numbers are coming from. That's the nice thing about doing things with a video. You can always pause this at any time if it's going too fast, or go back and rewind if you missed something. Okay, and then negative 5, remember this is times what number? So I'm going to divide each side by negative 5 to solve. So that's going to cancel that out. And negative 15 divided by negative 5, you know you're going to have a positive number because you're dividing two negatives. That's going to be a positive 3. Okay, for these last two are different. For these last two here, you're going to actually, because these are like grouped together, you're going to have to get rid of this dividing by 2 first. Okay, this really means negative 6 equals 8 plus y, like in parentheses, like that's grouped together, divided by 2. So the first thing you have to do here is actually get rid of dividing by 2 by multiplying each side of this equation by 2. So 2 times negative 6 is negative 12 equals 8 plus what number? And now you can subtract 8 from each side. Negative 12 minus 8. If you think of this on a number line, if you're at negative 12 and you're subtracting another 8, you're going to be at negative 20. So y equals negative 20. And then the last one here, because these are grouped together, you have two choices. You can either distribute and then solve it like we did last week. So choice 1. All right, first method, you can distribute first. So that you get 20 plus 4k equals 24 when you multiply by each of those. And then you can subtract 20. So 4k equals 4. And then you divide each side by 4. So k equals 1. The second method, and you don't need to do both of these. When you're doing the practice problems, you can just maybe try one of each or see which one you're more comfortable with. I would say probably most kids in Algebra 1 go ahead and distribute first because your algebra teacher will talk a lot about distributing first, and that's totally fine. But here is another method. You can actually divide first. So I'm going to rewrite the problem over here. It equals 24. So you could actually divide each side by 4 first. So then you'd write 5 plus k equal to, when you divide that, you get 6. And then you subtract 5 from each side. So k is equal to 1. So either way, you get the same answer. It doesn't matter to me which way you choose to show your work when you do your assessment on Thursday. As always, remember that you can contact me by email, or you can join me for a Zoom meeting and ask any questions on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11. Hope you guys are doing well, and let me know if you need anything. Have a great day.